Dad, can you explain the difference between Jewish laws and customs?
It's actually a very difficult subject. It's an excellent question because Judaism is very strange in the fact that customs that have been carried forward for many generations de facto in their communities become laws. So let's say you're an Eastern European Jew, what we call Ashkenazic, and you follow certain customs. It basically falls upon your children and your children's children to do the same thing. Whereas in Spain, the people who came from Spain, the Sephardic Jews, they may have totally different customs, and for them, they do it very, very differently. But de facto, it does become like a law, but we don't look at it in the same way in that if you break the law, you break the custom, there's really no associated punishment in our minds, but we're very, I hate to use the word, but it's true. We're very superstitious.
Right, we
and
are.
we just don't like to break our ties with the past. But the reality is that's a reason for our people's success, is that we keep following what the previous generations have done, and continuity, education, and the appeal that that has for the next generation, it's very powerful.
Yeah, and what would be the difference then between like Torah law and other kinds of laws?
So we have the Torah laws, which are the 613 laws that we associate with the Torah itself. Then we have rabbinic laws, which were put upon our people in order to help us through specific times in history, which then de facto became like laws. And then we have customs and things that we customarily do that, again, de facto become laws.
Right. And then my last question for you then, based on what you were saying, is you were talking about punishment, but we don't necessarily know what our punishment is for laws that we may break versus like if we break a law by accident or on purpose, we just basically acknowledge the mistake and we vow to do better going forward.
I mean, biblically, there are certain laws mandated for murder and things like that, certain things relative to breaking the Sabbath, or let's say you broke laws on Yom Kippur. There are very, very strict laws, and the punishments are decreed. But at the same time, for breaking customs, there's really no...
Right, we're doing them more for ourselves than because of the
Yes,
punishment we might
and
be
it's
getting.
important to us to maintain the continuity from generation to generation. So now we have a unique problem in that we have cell phones, and a lot of the kids, they want to be able to use their cell phones on holidays, things like, and it's a very, very difficult thing.
Right.
How do you control that? And it's one of the big challenges in front of the observant Jewish people right now.
Well, I believe that when we teach them, we don't just tell them to do things, we teach them why we're doing them. And we teach them about our history and our customs. And hopefully because of that, they want to do it along with us.
Well, here's an important thing to think about, though. What's better, to do something because you were commanded to do it, or something you do just because you really want to do it? And the reality is, in Judaism, something you're commanded to do, it's more important to follow it, because our natural tendency as humans is to stand up against authority and to reject authority. And by recognizing God's authority over us, it's actually a higher level than doing it because we want to do it. So do I keep the Sabbath because I really want to do it? Or do I do it because God told me to do it, and then I look for the good in it? Very difficult subject, something to think about.